Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is SoFlo Josh and I'm over here at Acura of Pembroke Pines to film the 2026 Acura MDX Type S for y'all. With that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to Acura of Pembroke Pines. If y'all are interested in purchasing any Acura, their certified pre-owns or even pre-owns, make sure to go ahead and contact Jose Pepe Borges and he'll be able to assist you. So underneath the hood, we find a 3-liter turbocharged V6 producing 355 horsepower and 354 pound-feet of torque sent through a 10-speed automatic transmission that's tuned and calibrated for the Type S version, as well as super handling all-wheel drive that sends power to all 4 wheels. Now let's go ahead and talk about this 2026 model year. So for 2026, the MDX Type S as well as the A-Spec version has gotten this new double Apex blue. So gone is the old Apex blue. There was a darker hue. Now it is the same exact color that was featured on the Type S concept, which many of you know, that was when Acura was confirming they were going to come back with the Type S name for their performance line. Now let's go ahead and talk about the overall styling of this model. So this is the refreshed one, so we're going to find a new front pentagon front grille that looks pretty nice. I actually like the way it looks compared to the pre-facelift one. We have some cutouts here on the side sections to add more air into the engine to cool down that V6 turbo. And you also have your Type S badge over there finished in gloss black. You can go ahead and actually get that finish in a nice dark chrome or gloss black. The lower section also has some more cutouts to feed air into the intercoolers, and then we also get a new side section right over here to add more air around the wheels as well into the other intercooler as well. We still get fog lights for this model, which a lot of car companies have gotten rid of fog lights, and I'm really happy to see that Acura continues to offer fog lights for this model. They're surrounded by this nice gloss black surround that gives it a more bold, aggressive look in the front, kind of like right in your face. We also have the Acura Jewel Eye headlight system, so we have 4 beams right over here, full LED headlights, full LED turn signal, as well as your high beam assist, which is very, very nice. I like the overall styling with the chicane DRLs over here off to the right. But as you see, this color looks really good, especially here in the Miami sunlight. It has this nice lighter hue to it, but I think it just fits this car perfectly. Even like, look, for example, the body lines on the side. And speaking of body lines, we do have one from the front fender that carries throughout the whole side and goes into the rear taillight. I just think this vehicle looks fantastic. For a 3-row performance SUV, it looks very, very good. Now over here, we do get new wheel designs. So these are the 21-inch wheels, the same ones at the rear. Now these have the machine finish and gloss black, which looks sharp. I like the way that it's actually open up enough so you can easily clean into the subsections right here. We also get the Brembo Acura brakes at the back, and we also have the air suspension for this model because this is the Type S and they added the air suspension, which is nice. Depending on the drive mode or how fast you're going on the freeway, it will lower or higher up depending, so you can get optimal amount of fuel efficiency as well. But very nice wheels. I like the overall design of it. They are with the Continental cross contact RXs, which honestly they're going to be great whenever it comes to road use. Now as you see over here, we do have a gloss black housing for the side mirror cap, LED turn signal. This gloss black finish around the windowsill area looks very nice. We also have the gloss black roof rails that kind of fit in with the theme of this sporty SUV, and then we also get it on the lower section of the door section. Now carrying on to the back, as you see over here, we have a nice tailgate with the chicane style tail lights as well, full turn signals finish in LED, as well as your reverse light. And then down below where we have an actual rear diffuser, well, faux rear diffuser, and then we got quad exhaust tips over here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hear how it sounds. you can honestly tell that this is a turbo V6 with the way that that exhaust system sounds. Now, it's not the same one that you find in the TLX Type S, because that one does have an active exhaust system, so the valves do open in when you put it into Sport and Sport Plus, and it's going to sound more aggressive there than this 3-row family SUV. But carrying on with the rear tailgate, we have the Type S badging right there, MDX and super handling all-wheel drive. You can get all these badges finish in gloss back, like I mentioned, up in the front. And we also have a rear camera nozzle right there, so that means that you can go ahead and clean that camera system at the back. Got your rear wiper blade right there instead of tucked underneath. I kind of wish that they would have had it tucked underneath, but as you see, power lift gate. Now over here we have a lot of space, and even with the 3rd row down, gets a ton of overall space in here. Once you put those 2nd row down, oh my god, dude, it's like you could literally put a whole entire bed into here, and you can actually go camping in this vehicle. And the good thing is that this does have air suspension, so that might be useful going off-road if you do desire to do that. Now getting over here, we do have a little storage section underneath here, so you can put some more stuff in. And also you can flip this around and switch it to this version for maybe, like, for example, if your kids are playing soccer or football or any other sport, they can usually use this to put their gear in so it doesn't damage the carpet in this vehicle. And I really like the way that Acura thought about that. You know, like, this is a family SUV, and most people are going to use this whenever it comes to taking their kids to sporting events. But very nice overall rear cargo area. We have some more cubby space right here, 12-volt outlet. You do have your walk away function right there, so all you need to do is just press that button and it will actually close the tailgate once you walk away. You also have a little grocery hook right here off the side, and you can get a tonneau cover for the back over here once you have the 3-row seats down. Speaking about that, these are non-power 3-row seats, which is actually really nice. And the reason why I say that is because I reviewed a lot of cars that have power 3 rows, and let me tell you something, I primarily don't like it because the amount of time it takes to lower the rear seats is insane. I mean, by the time that you go ahead and lower this, you can easily put all the items that you need to do. In that 3-row version that has a power operated 3rd row seat that folds down, it's gonna take you probably about 2 minutes because of the way the mechanic works for this 3rd row section. But as you see, it was super easy to bring up, and let me just tell you really quick, easy to fold down, and it does lock in place. So that is a huge benefit when it comes to this 3rd row section compared to the competitors. So like I was mentioning, you just press this button right here and it will automatically detect that you're walking away, and it will lower the rear tailgate, which is really good to see. All right, so let's get into the rear section. Right here we do have the rear proximity sensor for the rear doors, which is a good thing because you don't have to go up to the front doors in order to open all 4 doors. But as you see, super easy, nice hefty door. Really good because you want to have that when it comes to a family SUV like this to secure your family at the rear. We also have the peasant shades right here, so you can go ahead and pull that upward and lock it in place right there. Soft padding across the top as well as the midsection with the red stitching on this variant. We also have the wood paneling with the ambient lighting that goes across. Nice door handle with the lock section. And we also have your window switch gear, a nice little cubby space right there. Bang & Olufsen tweeter bill right there, and your speaker system. Large bottle area to maybe fit a 32-ounce bottle of water, and some more section to put some snacks. Type S sill plate right there. And these are the seats for the rear 2nd row section. So we're gonna have some nice red stitching across the whole middle section as well as in the side section. Getting inside is actually pretty straightforward and easy. I like the way these seats feel because they don't feel as bad, and you can slide it forward and back depending on how you want to have this set up right here, or if you have rear occupants. But it feels really good back here. Tons of overall legroom space. We also have some mat pockets on either end. You also have as well a tri-zone climate control area, so you can control this whole section, have it better, and you even have outboard heated seats for this variant. Even a power 12-volt outlet right there, 2 Type-C charging outlets, and that's all she wrote back here. Large panoramic sunroof, roof-mounted speakers over here because this has a total of 31 speakers because this is the Bang & Olufsen Ultra system. So it's gonna have a ton of overall speaker, and a really nice bass system in here as well. Now, if you need to go ahead and have a cup holder area, you can just pop this puppy down. You have 2 large cup holders, a little section right here to put some, maybe if you want to play Uno, which is also another nice thing, but it's nice soft padding all across the subsection on either side. I like the way this looks. Now, with this middle section of the seat, you can go ahead and actually release this, and you could take it out of its middle section compartment because it has hooks here, just like what you'd find in a Honda Odyssey or even minivan, as well as the Honda Pilot. This does have the exact same function right there, so you could just do that, and once you do, it locks in place right there, and you can put this strap right here and push it back up so it's just straight back. Let me go ahead and actually get into the third row section. And now another good thing about this vehicle is that we have a button here to go ahead and lower it, or we could just fold it down completely. So when you press this button right here, it does topple forward a little bit, but it has the accessibility of still having a child seat right there. So another good benefit for the MDX Type S. Now let's get into the rear section. Mind you, I am 5'10", so getting back here, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for somebody who is taller in their overall height. But getting back here with the seat all the way back, not the most comfortable. This is something for kids to sit back here, not for, you know, older adults or taller kids to sit back here. Overall, you know, back seat section, it doesn't have the same exact design that we saw in the second row section, but it's still nice soft padding across the whole section. We even got some red stitching on the side section, and 2 cup holders on either side. A USB, I would like to see a USB Type C on either end of that, but we also have the speaker system on the back part and on the roof with full LED dome lights at the back. So honestly, another good thing. But press that button, it does go forward. And now let's get out of here. It's gonna take some time. Oh man, it does take some time. All right, so let's put this seat back, retract it, and like I was mentioning, these seats do fold forward, so you can go ahead and just lower it like that, and then just to put it back, you can do that as well. But let's get into the front section. All right, so opening up the front door, nice hefty door, super strong material that Acura uses, soft padding across the top. We have that same wood grain with the ambient lighting across, door handle finish in a nice silver. We have presets for these driver seats as well as the passenger, 3 presets actually, in fact. Bang and Olufsen tweeter system right here, and we even have the speaker system as well. Trunk release right there, some nice little section right here to put some bottled waters or anything else, and then soft padding here with the red stitching, your whole window switch gear, and we do have power folding mirrors for this model, which is another benefit. Blind spot detection is going to be finished right here instead of the actual window housing for the mirror. Type S sill plate right here, and then these seats. So unlike the rear section, where the rear section didn't get this ultra suede on the side section, this one does have that. So you're gonna get some nice red stitching across the side and in the middle, just like the back section, but this ultra suede is here. Type S across the head section as well. Nice soft padding across it as well. Let's get into the interior. Shut the door. Nice hefty door as well. But let's talk about this cabin space. So for the facelifted version, the 2025 model year, they incorporated this new 12.3-inch touchscreen display. Yes, gone is the old trackpad, and now we have the touchscreen display. So this is going to be Google embedded, so you're going to have Google Maps from the get-go. You also have the function of going into the Play Store and downloading other apps in here. Very nice responsive design for this touchscreen. I really like the way it looks. It's sharp, precise, and even the maps looks really good. I mean, look how fast that is. It's super accurate as well. Over here in the center, we do have another 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. This gauge right here can be customizable depending on the drive mode you're in. So you go into sport, it's gonna change the RPM area, it's gonna add a turbo boost gauge. Really nice design. And then when you go to Sport Plus, as you see, everything kind of has a different design. The needle actually changes to yellow rather than it being in red, which is something super cool to see. And then if you press and hold this, you can actually change an individual mode. So you could change the engine output, comfort, normal, sport, steering, suspension, everything like that. It's just by a click of that button right there to put you into individual mode. But honestly, very good area right here. We even get physical buttons for the climate control, as well as heated and ventilated seats, but you do have an auto function right there to go ahead and, depending on the climate outside, it will change what to have on, or you can have them on at the same exact time, which is actually, no, I thought you could, but never mind, I guess you can. But still, very nice to see. Nice soft padding around here on the area where your knee would be hitting on either side. We do find a 12 volt underneath there by the passenger side section, and then we have a USB Type C and a regular USB right there as well. Automatic start stop. You have your brake hold function right there, volume control for backtrack, wireless charging pad right here, and a nice little cubby space to put maybe a snack. 2 large cup holders as well. You can fit your favorite team's bottled water right there, or even a 32-ounce bottle of water. And then opening up over here, as you see, we have a nice cubby space in the center section right here with 2 USB Type C's as well. And you can have a 2-tier style finish for this center console as well. Now over here off to the side, your glove compartment is damped in line with felt. Tons of overall space in there, and gloss black across the dash with some wood grain and nice red stitching across the whole entire interior. I think it looks very nice here. We have the Bang and Olufsen tweeter right here on the A-pillar section on either side. We have LED lighting up here. You have your full control for your actual sunroof right here, so you can go ahead and open it up. Let's actually see how far it does open up, or if it needs to push back. Oh, that's one thing I like about Acura models, is that you can actually open it up more, and it's a functional sunroof, not like what the competition right now is currently doing with their sunroof in some of their models. But very nice overall interior space. I really love this, the way that this car feels. The steering wheel feels good with a 9-3 grip, red stitching across the whole entire subsection. And then we have heated steering wheel, as well as all your advanced driver safety system right here, as well as active cruise control, where you take your hands off the steering wheel, and then we'll go ahead and go around corners for you as well, which is very, very nice to see. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and take this puppy off for a drive. All right, so before we head off, let me show you that one over there, which is the one that I did the full rock around of, which is double apex blue. I'm gonna drive this one because the customer's actually coming in to look at this one, but they both have the exact same wheels. The difference is the main color. I mean, the color of the exterior, double apex blue. We got the 21-inch wheels over here. We have the gloss surround. It just looks really nice, you know, full on quad exhaust tips at the back. And then the interior, of course, has the black design for the interior with the red accents. This one over here is going to be the urban gray pearl with the blue interior that looks really sharp. So as you see, you get a blue interior design with the white accents as well. But let's go ahead and take this one out for a drive. And this is what happens, you know, like, you know, customers come in, they got to look at the car, you know, be respectful to everybody. So all right, let's go ahead and get on the drive. So this model right here features the 3-liter turbocharged V6 that produces 355 horsepower and 354 pound-feet of torque. All that power is sent through a 10-speed automatic transmission that is tuned and calibrated for the Type S compared to the base version of the MDX with the 3.5-liter V6. And this one does feature super handling all-wheel drive, so it's going to help out whenever you are driving on the road or in snowy conditions, which is actually a really good all-wheel drive system. It's very competitive in its class, especially against Audi's Quattro system. Right now, Audi's Quattro system is one of the best in the class when it comes to all-wheel drive system, but this is a second of the best when it comes to all-wheel drive systems. Let me tell you, it is really good. I've used it many times. I've had family members who have had MDX before in the past with all-wheel drive, taking it up north, and they love the way that all-wheel drive system feels. Off over here, give it a little bit of gas. You can feel that V6 purring up, and mind you, this is currently in the comfort mode, so it's not in the most aggressive sport mode. We will switch that sport mode once we get into the curves over there. But overall, setting off, I've driven the MDX Type S before, and I really like the overall suspension. Mind you, this does have the air suspension, so depending on your speed, depending on the drive mode that you're in, it will higher and lower. And for example, if you're on the highway, what it's gonna do is lower the overall height of the vehicle for better overall efficiency instead of it being higher up. That's a really good thing that Acura has thought of when it comes to calibrating the air suspension for this model. But we still get the double wishbone front suspension in the front, and they're really, really good. You know, it has a level of sportiness in this vehicle that many of its competition field kind of lacks in comparison, especially since this does compete, for example, against the Lexus TX. That model doesn't have a lot of sportiness to it, even though it is a hybrid vehicle. It doesn't have that level of sportiness that this does for that. But setting off, let's go ahead and actually put it into sport mode, and let's see how this car handles when we go around this corner. Giving it a little bit of gas, really good. You could hear that engine livens up, and yes, there is piped in audio coming in, which is to be expected because a lot of cars nowadays have sound deadening that they do around the whole entire engine bay and around the wheels. But as you see, when you give it some gas, it livens up and it gets you through the speed that you need to get to. You know, it's actually very nice. I like the way this car feels, and the suspension feels very, very well. Yeah, I mean, once you press down, immediately that 10-speed automatic transmission does change. We're actually gonna go ahead and put it into S for the transmission, and we're gonna see how this feels as well. Yeah, it livens up, you know, very, very, very responsive 10-speed automatic transmission. Mind you, you can shift the gears through the paddle shifters, but if you don't want to do that and you just want to have it in S mode for the transmission, you can go ahead and do that. But nonetheless, very nice overall response. Even turning in, the wheel is very direct. You know, there's not a lot of play in it, especially around going around curves like here right now. But this feels really good. Very impressed. We're gonna make it right over here. Let's go ahead and go around here, give it some gas. And we're gonna go on the highway actually. And we're gonna see how this car performs on there as well. We're actually gonna throw it into S Plus for this version and see how it feels. Turning around this corner here, it's sharper, and giving it a little bit of throttle input is actually really good. And it honestly, it livens up very well. I mean, it's a good amount of power for a family 3-row SUV. There's actually not a lot that you need for, I mean, 355 horsepower is a lot of horsepower for a, you know, family SUV. And I think this is really well done and calibrated even the transmission now feels a lot better than what it used to feel when I first drove the MDX Type S. I mean, this just, you know, it didn't feel that well. This feels a lot better. There is a little bit of road noise coming in from the 21-inch wheels, and that's to be expected. I mean, there are pretty large wheels, and usually that's exactly what happens. But, you know, it's still a really good family SUV. It's gonna get you from point A to point B. This is a very reliable engine as well. There's not a lot of issues that occur with this engine from, you know, recalls or anything like that. It's been on the market for quite some time, and I've heard so many good things about this engine. Even when it comes to air suspension, a lot of the automakers, for example, the Germans, the big three, they have air suspension in their cars. And what happens with a certain amount of years of it being used and daily driven and or left in the garage, what happens is sometimes that air suspension does collapse. I have seen a lot of people who have the first model year of the MDX Type S Advance with the air suspension and has not had a single issue or recall with the air suspension. And that's because, you know, Honda and Acura are a very reliable car company, and they know exactly what they're doing. I mean, they test these things for years before they even hit the market and make sure that it's actually usable on a day-to-day basis. I mean, those test mules or those prototypes that you see that Acura drives around on the media or whenever I post them, those cars put over hundreds of thousands of miles on the odometer to make sure that every single aspect of the car is a lot better in the longevity of the ownership. And that's what they do. I mean, every manufacturer does it, but I feel like Acura and Honda just do it perfectly, and they know how to calibrate everything compared to the big German three. All right, so setting off over here. Sharp, precise handling. Really good amount of power. Wow, I am impressed. You know, let's go ahead and drop it a few gears. And the brakes feel very solid too. I mean, this is, you know, a SUV that's about 5,000 plus pounds. And even though these Brembo brakes are the 4-piston Brembo brakes, they stop the vehicle very well for a heavy vehicle like this. And honestly, hats off to the team over at Acura and Honda for producing a car like this. And as you see right there and then, I mean, it got up to speed extremely quickly, you know? Very well done, Acura. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you guys are interested in purchasing any Acura whatsoever, make sure to go ahead and contact Pepe that works here at Acura Pembroke Pines, and he'll be able to assist you. Thank you once again. Peace.